And welcome to Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. I'm Steve Swatt with the Sacramento Report. In the next few minutes, we're going to talk about school funding and school safety. And we're speaking with Tony Mendoza, member of the State Senate from Artesia. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, Steve.
And I guess we ought to say at the outset that you are a teacher,
Yes.
teach elementary school, so you are familiar with education issues. And let's talk first briefly about public education and how it's faring in the governor's budget. I mean, it's coming out pretty good, isn't it?
Yes, I think the governor really saw the dramatic cutbacks that we did during the hard times and in making reparations to prepare to start paying more into public education. I think it's great, but you got to keep it in perspective. Even though we're putting more money into public education, more than we have the last 6-7 years, because all the cuts that we did, during those bad years, we cut $20 billion, over $20 billion into public education. We're back to where we were at, but if you look at the national level, our per pupil funding is still, we're ranked at 49th in the nation. So we're still have ways to go. We're just back to where we were 8 years ago.
Right. The legislative analyst says there could be $1 to $2 billion in extra revenue that the governor is not counting on or expecting, and most of that money under the education funding formula would go to public education also.
It would. The Prop 98, there is a requirement that if there's more money is coming in than projected, then that's going to be going back to public education again, benefiting our kids, benefiting our schools, and it's great. It's a win-win for everybody, I believe.
I want to talk a little bit about legislation you have dealing with schools and drug trafficking and drug manufacturing, because there seems to be a loophole in the law that you're trying to close. Yes,
it's unfortunate, but that is true. There's a loophole that basically allows, it prohibits a judge from placing enhancements on people who are actually manufacturing or selling drugs within 1,000 feet of a public school, of any school. And the judges have read it that it has to be, that there's a drug activity, whether it be manufacturing or sell, has to occur in a public place. Well, in reality, if you're doing any kind of manufacturing...
That makes no sense.
Right, it doesn't. If you're doing any kind of manufacturing or selling any illicit drugs within 1,000 feet of a school, whether it's on public or private property, it should be the same enhancement opportunities for judges.
And I know I was seeing a report that, especially in Los Angeles County, but statewide, there are over 800 drug labs have been discovered, recently over the last year or something like that.
That is true. It's sad, but they're very prevalent, especially in rural areas. But just in my district alone, we have over 16. So it's everybody can actually relate to this issue. Mm-hmm. I think it's unfortunate that this one particular judge read the law, said, well, it has to be in a public place versus in a shed in the backyard right next to the school. Right. Well, that's private property. Well, it's still within 1,000 feet, and it shouldn't matter whether it's public or private.
Was it this judge's ruling that prompted this legislation, or was there an incident at a school?
It was a judge's ruling that was because of a case that was about of an incident that happened near a school. Right. And this happened to be in San Jose. Mm-hmm. And the judge said, well, the law says it has to be in a public place. At least that's what his interpretation. And we're saying, well, technically, it doesn't matter if it's public or private. Just the fact that it happened within 1,000 feet of a school, we definitely don't want to put our kids in danger. As a school teacher, those meth labs are right next door to your classroom. My classroom had to be in a bungalow, and it was way in the back of the school, right next to houses. So if some of those houses were manufacturing drugs in the back of their yard, just because it happened to be a private property, we're still in danger just the same. 1,000 feet.
We only have a couple seconds left, but the enhancements would be an extra, 3 to 5 years?
Yes. It's up to the judge to determine how significant that crime was.
Well, Senator Mendoza, thank you very much for coming by and talking about school safety and also school funding. We appreciate it. We'd like to have you back and talk about the progress of your legislation.
Thank you, Steve. We'd love to.
And thanks to our viewers for watching Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. A reminder, you can see this and other interviews on the California channel, on YouTube, also on My Government On Demand. Have a great day.